seen primarily as a PvP reward or even a first day login bonus if you've been playing since Meteor S's launch. It is the Platinum Stag Beetle type, KWG50 P-Rokusho, with a kit of radar sight, sword, hammer, biped legs, and the leg ability of Charge Fight, which buffs success and power of equipped melee parts upon a certain Metaforce threshold being maintained. Now, much like G Metabee is to Metabee, P-Rokusho to Rokusho is essentially also a one-to-one scale reference. There really is a very minor and honestly super negligible stat difference between the two of them, so whether you choose to use standard Rokusho or you choose to use P-Rokusho, there really is no major difference in their performance. Their kits are the exact same, and their stats, like I said, are more or less identical in every way. The real reason to use P-Rokusho would be simply for memes or for laughs at that point going forward. Radar Sight is a support-based skill that, once activated, will buff the success rate of himself and all allies by 30%, and at the same time, it will also remove any stealth or conceal effects of the enemy's side, making it a lot easier to land hits and just a little bit easier to land critical hits on top of that while the effect is active. Right Arm of Sword is a conventional melee skill that honestly you can generally never ever go wrong with using for its wonderful balance and versatility as a conventional weapon, with no penalty or drawback while you're in your cooldown. Hammer as well also is a conventional melee skill that is lesser used but still has value to a point that is a full AoE, meaning it will damage all 4 parts or all active parts of the target and spread load the damage evenly among them. So a healthy target will have all 4 parts damaged, an injured enemy may only have, say, 2 or 3 parts, or so on and so forth. Biped legs do also mean that P-Rokusho will have a very solid coverage on most terrains, just as a standard Rokusho would, and the Charge Fight ability also is very solid, as this means once a certain threshold can be maintained, all of his hits will be dealing just a little bit more damage, and you'll have just a little bit higher of a likelihood to land your hits without them dodging or grazing, as well as landing critical hits on top of that. Now, as mentioned, between G Metabee and Metabee, P-Rokusho and Rokusho are basically one-to-one identical, with the exception of very minor stat differences between them, which make using one over the other honestly kind of pointless, minus of course the tune-up treatment that Rokusho himself got in these recent weeks. That being said, the only reason to use P-Rokusho, like I mentioned, would be exclusively for memes or for laughs at that point, or even just for bragging rights just to flex on people. That being said, however, as a pure set, I do have to rate P-Rokusho a very solid 7 out of 10 for his still very solid balance across the board. If you've used Rokusho, you can use P-Rokusho very easily and interchangeably, even if he is just a little bit more expensive to raise. As mixed parts, I have to rate him equally as well at a 7 out of 10, given that again, he himself together is very well balanced, but he himself also as mixed parts is even more versatile, as you can fit them anywhere. Now, G Metabee and P-Rokusho also are usually events you will see in PvP, which means that is the only way you can get them feasibly. Or, if you've been playing since the game's early launch, back about 3 years ago at time of recording, you would have gotten them as a first day bonus. That being said, and all the same, very well rounded, very versatile, and essentially just a shiny version and a trophy and nothing more.